Hi, AJ. Thanks for watching. As I was saying on the phone, consumer habits have shifted over the last couple of years since the pandemic, and I wanted to show you how you can leverage all that local internet search volume to bring in the leads right through your website here. Unfortunately, though, the only way that's going to work is if your website is ranking at the top of the page. So to kind of show you how to do that and give you a quick little comparison, what I've done is just a search here for septic pumping in Massachusetts. I take a couple of the top ranking websites as well as your own, and I plug them all into this tool that I use, and it shows me all the information that Google uses to determine your position in the search results. So as you can see real quickly, based on these numbers, why these companies are outranking yours. But let me just go briefly into what these numbers mean. So as we go through your site, you can see what changes need to be made and how that's going to affect the rank. So when Google is determining how to rank a website, it uses two factors. The first is what's called the authority or trust that it has in your site. This basically boils down to a popularity contest because this authority is gained when other domains or websites refer back to yours and then they create a link that's called a backlink. This acts as an endorsement that Google uses to build trust because others are vouching for you. So to give you a quick example, if say the local news station did an article on their website for the top 10 best septic pumping companies in Massachusetts, and in that article, the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website. That would be considered one backlink from one referring domain. Now, these backlinks can come from a lot of different forms besides just a press release, blog sites, editorials, guest posting. One really important one is what's called a citation, and that's any time that your name, address, and phone number appear in an online directory. Those include Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, Yelp, things like that. The good news is these directories are usually always free. It just takes some time to find them, register your business, and then input the information exactly as shown in Google. So as you can see, based on the number of websites and how many links they've created for these competitors, why Google is trusting these sites more than yours and therefore ranking them at the top of the list. But there is something to note here is it's not just a sheer matter of the quantity of these links. Quality has a lot to do with it too. So we need to make sure that we're linking to quality other websites. So definitely something that's inside the United States. Can't be anything spam or outside like that. We need to make sure that they're relative to your service industry, not necessarily specific to septic pumping, but something to any kind of like home service field or something like that. Because basically the website that you're linking to has to have some trust in order to transfer that through the link to your website. Now, the second factor for ranking your page is the content on your page. So if we take a quick peek in here, this will show me all the keywords and phrases that are being typed into Google search that Google is either finding or associating with your site. And then it also shows me the volume, the number of times per month they're being searched. So what I'm doing when I look through here is I'm looking for what I call a buyer intent keyword. Because if somebody is searching for, you know, septic pumping, they might be trying to get an idea of when they should do it. What does that mean? How much does it cost? Things like that. But if somebody is searching for septic pumping in a certain area, so let's just take a quick look at your competitor here and see. So right here, Northborough Septic. If somebody is searching that, they're specifically looking to hire somebody and they are located in Northborough. So you can see that's being searched 100 times per month. So let's say that you service the Northborough area. If your website had this keyword associated with it, then those 100 people a month will be seeing your website, assuming that you're ranked on the first page. Now, Google Analytics estimates that of total search volume, approximately 10% at least should convert into a lead. So now you're looking at a potential of 10 leads coming in, whether they're calling or emailing you directly or they're filling out a contact form on your website. Now, obviously, you're not going to get every single one of those jobs. The scope and the price of each job may vary for profit margin, but you can just see how the sheer volume of leads coming in can definitely add up to some revenue at the end of that month, at the end of the year. And that's just for one keyword phrase. So then we repeat that same process for all the high volume keyword phrases relative to the services that you offer in the areas you want to be found in. So this is where we do a little bit of market research to find all the services that you want to offer, figuring out what kind of keywords are being searched, what's the volume, and making sure that they're being included on the site. Now, however, there is a formula that Google uses to find these keywords on your site. So let's take a quick look at your page here. As far as navigation, I mean, everybody's got all the information that a user could need right here with the services. It's mobile optimized, which is great because a lot of people are using a mobile device. So you want to make sure that it is, the one click the call or click the message. But as far as Google is concerned, being a computer, the first thing it's going to do is just come in and count all the words and text on the page. Now, generally, we recommend having a minimum of about 1,000 to 1,500 words on a homepage, only because the more information you have, the more Google views you as an expert, and then the more likely it is to recommend you. But realistically, at the end of the day, we just need to make sure that we have more content on your page than any of your competitors' page to make sure that we were offering more content for Google. Now, while Google is counting the words, it's also searching for those keywords. So any of the services you want to offer or the areas you want to offer them in. However, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play because you're only allowed to have one of those keywords for about every 100 to 150 words of text. And then furthermore, Google's recent updates, they're really trying to emphasize quality content. So they're actually reading the content on the page. So if you want to be found for septic pumping in a certain area, that 100 to 150 words has to be specifically describing that exact keyword in order for Google to recognize it and pick it up. So as far as getting more traffic to the page, what we'd want to do is just add a little bit more content. So as far as the keywords you want to be found for, we definitely need to get those into like a header, even if you go into the actual like pumping pages. So we want to have, a little bit more content in here and try to find those buyer intent keywords, as I was saying, so we can attract them. Another good way to do that is if we look at some of the competition here. So if we go back to Shirley, as you can see here, they have a separate page for Shirley, Mass. And then in Northborough, they have a separate page for Northborough. So making what's called a location back page is highly beneficial as well because on your home page, you're going to have a lot of different keywords for all the different services you do. So say that you do pumping inspections and installation and repairs. So if somebody's searching for pumping in a certain area and Google comes across your page, it's going to say like, okay, yes, you do pumping in that area. But if you have an entire page dedicated to that specific area and every single keyword and every piece of content is specifically describing that location and that service, Google's going to see that page is 100% relevant and more likely to rank you in the search results. So that's where having these individual, what we call location back pages, is really beneficial for trying to locate exactly where you want to rank for. So getting some more content in general would be a great start. Adding some location pages on top of that would be even better. I'm not really sure what's going on down here with the review section. It's just blank on my screen right now. Obviously, getting some Google reviews, it is great to have on the page for the user side experience. But as far as Google is concerned, in order to adequately get this page showing up in search results, definitely just need to get some more of that high quality content on there, and then making sure that you can be found for those specific searches. Because then once you're in this, what we call the organic section, this is where all of the authority is required in order to get you ranking above the competition. So this is where you want to get more of those links or referrals from other websites to help you climb and outrank the competition. And then regardless of where the person is searching from, unlike the map section, you'll be coming up at the top of this section all the time, unlimited amounts of clicks. It's not like a pay-per-click ad. Once your website is ranking, it's basically there working for you 24/7. I know this was a lot of information, but I wanted to keep it kind of brief. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'd love to go into more details on exactly what we can do. Maybe talk about where you want to target and what you want to target, and see how big of an area and who we're competing with in that area. And I always like to get some feedback as well, just to see if information like this was useful. So please do let me know what you thought. Thanks, and I appreciate your time.